Good evening and welcome to the Lincoln City Council meeting of February 26, 2024. In accordance with LB 898, please be advised that a copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted at the back of the chamber by the northwest door. Let us all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a short moment of silent meditation. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please have a seat. The order of business of the City Council is as follows. The clerk will call the items listed on the agenda. Under public hearing, anyone wishing to speak on an item must first register and sign in at the table located in the lobby. The council shall require any member of the public desiring to address the council to identify himself or herself, including an address and the name of any organization represented by such person, unless the address requirement is waived to protect the security of the individual. Anyone wishing to speak on an item on the agenda should come forward after the clerk reads that item. The applicant may then make one short rebuttal. Each speaker should begin by stating their name, address, organization, and whether you are speaking in favor of or in opposition to the item. Testimony is limited to 5 minutes per speaker. After all public hearings, the council will vote on resolutions and items listed under third reading. On the second and last Mondays of the month immediately prior to adjournment, anyone may speak on any issue not on the agenda for that date nor planned for a future agenda. Madam Clerk, will you please call the first item of business?
Our first item of business today for Monday, February 26, 2024 is our consent agenda, sections 1, sections 2, and 3.
Is there anyone here to speak on anything on the consent agenda? That would be items sections 1, 2, or 3. Anyone here to speak on anything on the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, please walk us through that.
Okay. Items 2A was introduced by Shob.
So moved.
Second, Carlson. Discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Washington,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Beckius.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. That concludes our consent agenda. We shall move on to section 4, our liquor resolution. Item 4A is application of McKinney's Pub LLC doing business as McKinney's Irish Pub for a special designated license to cover an outdoor area measuring approximately 60 feet by 120 feet at 151 North 8th Street on March 16th through 17th from 1 p.m. to 11:55 p.m.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, Joel Shasso, 1053 Middleton Avenue, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68521, McKinney's Irish Pub. Back again, exact same thing as the last 3 years. Prior to that, we did things a little bit different, but the last 3 years have all been the exact same thing. Shut down the street, put up the tent, have fun.
Celebrate our heritage.
Yeah, and since Brody's not here last year, he was appealing to council members getting a free drink, and I told him absolutely not. But since he's not here, it's open to you guys.
All right.
I'm
Well,
not looking for a free
we appreciate that. Let me see if we have any questions.
Sure.
Any questions for the applicant?
No questions?
What days of the week are those this
Okay.
year?
It is Saturday, Sunday. The 17th is on Sunday, and we're doing part of it on Saturday, the 16th as well.
All right. Sounds good. Any other questions, councilors?
I would just point out it is for St. Patrick's Day. Is that correct?
Correct. The Sunday is St.
Sunday,
Patrick's Day.
yes.
Yep.
Perfect.
It's also Selection Sunday for the NCAA tournament, so all of us Husker fans will be.
A busy day.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you for coming down. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here who would like to testify on item 4A? Anyone else here who would like to speak on item 4A?
My turn. Mr. Chair, seeing no one else coming forward, I'd like to make a motion that we approve item 4A.
Second?
Second, Washington. Please call the roll.
Bowers,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Beckius.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Okay. That concludes Section 4 of our agenda. Section 5 is our public hearing resolutions. Item 5A is waiver 24001, application of Khalil Jaber to waive the paving requirements for a parking lot on property generally located at 129 West Belmont Avenue.
Hello, welcome.
Good evening. My name is Fayaz Ahmed, representing Islamic Foundation of Lincoln, Nebraska. So our organization is in 129 West Belmont Avenue, Lincoln 68521.
Perfect. Could you tell us a little bit about the application that we have in front of us?
Yes. So we are seeking a waiver for our parking lot because we couldn't get enough donations because we are a NGO, and basically like it's a mosque that people come for prayer there. So and last couple of years due to the COVID also, like it did impacted a lot to us because there was no people coming to the prayers at all. So we just actually trying to start working again on that one. And I have a project coordinator Khalil Jaber and the treasurer Fatullah Habibullah with me also here, so to represent if you have any questions to them as well.
All right, very good. Well, thank you for that. Let me see if my peers have any questions.
Sure.
Before we maybe talk to city staff. So, any questions? I can start if you.
Why don't you, sir? I have one question.
Okay.
I have-
It looks like the city staff recommendation is conditional approval for this to give you a certain amount of time to have rock. Is that acceptable to you?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that you were in agreement with what city planning staff has suggested. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, very good. Let me see if my peers have other questions.
I had one other
Yes,
question,
Councilwoman.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you. In reading the application, I just wanted to understand the phasing, the possible phasing. So it mentioned that you have some stalls that will be paved, and then you have 81 stalls that would remain unpaved
Right.
until such a,
Right.
and then you mentioned also that there'd be other future phases of parking, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what that future might look like.
Right now, as I said, we have already paved a little bit. So for the disabled parking lots and the other parking lots that we have, the other ones that the first phase that we want to do is like the other 80 ones. There are other surrounding to the building. That's what we want to focus. Once that's done, it depends actually how much you are getting donations from the community, and as I said, due to the uncircumstances we had with the COVID. Hopefully, nothing will happen in the future, something like that. So that's what actually we want to do it. So maybe I think I can, my project coordinator can explain more on that one. So
Yes, please.
Please.
Good evening, and I'll sign up after I get done here.
If you just give us your name and
For the record, my name is Khalil Jaber, Jaber, and the first name is Khalil, Khalil. Today I'm acting as a project coordinator, so if you happen to see my name elsewhere, I am not at this current capacity other than just a member of the Islamic Foundation of Lincoln. So many years, to answer your questions, Councilwoman, this area that we have defined as a future is we figured that, we seems to get hit with a lot of different waves of immigrants when they come to our community. And so we just wanted to lock that area from the groups, that boards, community, so they understand that if we need that, that's what we're going to reserve that area to expand that parking lot. But outside of that, at this point, based on what you see in the applications, the paved area, and probably, hopefully with your consideration of 4 more years, we should be able to wrap that piece up.
Thank you.
Councilors, any other questions for the applicant? Okay, I don't see any, so thank you very much for coming up. We appreciate it. I know some of my peers have, oh, Tom, I'm sorry.
Yeah, now, is that in our agreement, that after 4 years, they'll pave that area?
So we'll have Director Carey come
Okay.
on up and talk. I know we have some other staff questions for
Yeah,
him, but
very
it
good.
appears to be in the summary report that it is.
Okay.
So,
And in essence, we take anything you give us. Thank you, Councilman. Appreciate it.
All right.
gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Director Carey, I think we have some questions for you, sir.
David Carey, Director of the Planning Department, 555 South 10th Street.
Thank you. And we'll start, actually, why don't we start with Councilman Duden's question about the time period being specifically laid out?
Correct. So it's the 4 years. Very typical for places of religious assembly that we do this. Obviously, we allow for some fundraising and things like that. So we've done this many times throughout the city. So it's consistent with past practice, and we're comfortable with doing it that way.
That's what I wanted to find out.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks. I
Sure.
appreciate that.
Other questions for staff?
Mr. Chair, my question would have been, Mr. Curry, have we done this before? And I think he's answered that question.
Okay, very good. Any other questions for Director Carey? All right, thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming up. We appreciate it. At this time, I would invite anyone else who would like to speak on this item to come on up. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak on this particular agenda item? That's 5A. Anything else you gentlemen would like to add? Okay. Okay, very good. Any last call, anyone else for 5A? All right, see none, let's move forward.
We can now vote on this item. Item 5A is waiver 24001, application of Khalil Jabber to waive the paving requirements for a parking lot on property generally located at 129 West Belmont Avenue, introduced by Bowers.
So moved.
Second, Carlson, discussion. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Bowers?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Okay. That concludes Section 5 of our agenda. We shall move on to Section 6, our public hearing ordinances, second reading and related resolutions. I'll call items 6A and 6B together. Item 6A is text amendment 23015, request of the City of Lincoln Planning to amend Lincoln Municipal Code Section 27.02.030B to add a definition for breezeway by amending Section 27.06.130 retail sales and services use group to change kennels from P to permitted use to C, permitted conditional use for the AG and AGR districts, by amending Section 27.62100 retail sales and services use group to add the condition that the lot shall be 10 acres or more for kennels and or veterinary facilities to be consistent with the existing table 27.72.010, by amending Section 27.63.680 sale of alcoholic beverages for consumption on the premises to more precisely define that a daycare facility is not the residence of the child care provider, by amending Section 27.68.030, permits required to allow the planning director to approve administratively an increase of 5 feet in height for personal wireless facilities, by amending Section 27.70.070 outlots, permitted use to delete incidental structures for commercial developments from being permitted in outlots, by amending Section 27.72.010 height and lot regulations AG and AGR districts to eliminate the language regarding boundary line changing in AGR districts, by amending Section 27.72.060 uses permitted or prohibited within required yards to allow fire escapes and fireproof stairs to project into the side yard by not more than 3 1/2 feet, by amending project into the side yard by amending Section 27.72110 exceptions to the height requirements to allow cupolas and ornamental features in all residential districts may extend 10 feet above the height of the district as long as they are not able to be occupied, and to allow flagpoles to exceed the height of the district up to 100 feet in the B2, B5, H2, H3, H4, I1, I2, and I3 districts, by amending Section 27.72120 accessory buildings to correct the footnote in Table 27.72.120 and to make it clear that the accessory building attached to the main building by an unenclosed decked patio, ramp, open stair, or sidewalk is not considered part of the main building for setback purposes, but only if it is in the rear yard, and to state that the accessory buildings on outlots should maintain a minimum 6-foot setback from all property lines. By amending section 27.75.060, decision of board transmitted to city clerk to remove language stating the resolution becomes null and void if not filed within 60 days. Item 6B is text amendment 23015, amending chapter 1.00, request for waiver procedures of the design standards to amend the appeal timeframe to city council from 10 days to 14 days.
Director Carey, welcome.
Good evening, David Carey, Director of the Planning Department, 555 South 10th Street. I think the last time we had that long of an explanation, Sony was losing her voice. I felt very bad that time. I feel a little less bad this time, but thank you for reading through that. I appreciate that.
Oh, boy.
So I think it's implied in kind of the detail of this that these are kind of a combination of minor improvements and kind of cleanup items that we've picked up on over the last year or so, probably more than a year actually, where we've had a few property owners to come in and ask to do certain things, and there's a hiccup in the rules. So we're trying to make sure that we're cleaning some things up and making some things a little bit easier to do through these changes. It's also, a few of these are really to bring clarity to some things, because there was a couple of them were just simply omissions and errors of a previous change, so we're cleaning those things up. And to make sure that things are clear so that when those other future items come through, we have a better understanding, and then the applicant likely will be able to do something more easily. So with that, there are 11 amendments that are included in this. All of them we consider fairly minor, but they will help. And just to be clear that as we read off two different items for two different action items for you next week. And so one of the separate item is we have zoning code changes, which is the bulk of this. And then we have a design standards change for process. And I'll speak to that just specifically, that we want to align our appeal process to the same 14 days across the board. We, for some reason, had a different 10-day appeal period for some items from the design standards section. So I'll stop there and see if you have questions. And again, I'll just reiterate that these are items that kind of build up over time, and we want to make sure we're updating and improving our code as things move forward.
Very good. Questions for Director Carey?
So
Yes,
what is the
Councilman?
definition of a breezeway?
I could try to find the actual language if you want me to. What I will say to that, the reason why it's important to get specific on that is that we've had a few instances where the connection to a main use, this main structure, and the ability or not have the ability to do an accessory building or another activity on the site, we needed to be very specific about how that can be handled. And so we needed to bring that clarity to the code.
I think the public wanted to hear that.
A roofed outdoor passage as between a house and a garage, according to the proposed ordinance.
So the smoking area,
Maybe.
maybe.
Other questions for Director Carey at all? Anyone else?
I will tell you that I was initially overwhelmed by an ordinance that's titled, that takes a page, but it was incredibly clear.
Good.
And thank you very much.
Thank you for the comment. I appreciate that.
All right, very good. Thank you, Director Carey.
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak on items 6A and 6B? Anyone else here to speak on items 6A or 6B? All right, let's move on to 6C.
Item 6C is change of zone 23076, application of Louis Yang to change the zone from AGR Agriculture Residential District to R3 Residential District on property generally located at 6301 South 84th Street.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak on this item? Hello, welcome.
Hello, for the record, my name is Louis Yang, residing at 6301 South 84th Street in Lincoln, Nebraska, 68516.
Perfect.
And I am the applicant of this proposal.
You want to tell us a little bit about the proposal that we have in front of us?
Yeah, so it was recommended to us as a way for the change of zone from AGR to R3 as a way to tear down our 1960s rusty garage That is the main garage for the house, in order to have a new one erected in its place. And so currently under AGR, the side yard, the side setbacks are 15 feet, and under R3, it would be 5 feet. And that is currently where the pad is located. It would be difficult for us to move it any further in.
Okay, very good. Well, let me see if my peers have any questions for you here really quickly. Counselors, any questions for the applicant?
I had
Yes,
one
Councilwoman.
question. I noticed in in your initial application that the planning department had recommended that 2 additional parcels get rolled into yours so that instead of just one lot being changed over
Right.
to R3, it'd be 3 in total. And I was curious, what is the reaction of your neighbors?
Sure, yes. The reaction, I have gotten, let's see, I believe 2 calls and 2 emails. One went with the spam, and it was mostly people who were living directly behind Faith Bible Church, the property, the large property in question there. And everyone was, the only concern was they were afraid that there was going to be residential development or something happening there. And to my knowledge, they were just dragged in by my application for the zoning map to look cohesive and nice. And so I did reply to everyone and told them that Faith Bible Church, to my knowledge, has no plans to change or add anything to their property. It was just part of my own application.
And Faith Bible Church had no objections. I saw no objections in the
Correct,
record.
yes. To my knowledge, yes, no objections have been brought forward to me.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, seeing none, thank you so much for coming down. We appreciate it. Counselors, do we have questions for staff at all? Okay, I don't see any. Okay. Is there anyone else here who would like to testify on this item? Anyone else here who would like to speak on item 6C? Change zone 230676. Okay, seeing none, let's go ahead and move on. Madam Clerk.
That concludes section 6 of our agenda, public hearing ordinances, second reading, and related resolutions. Section 7 is resolutions first readings, or items 7A through 7I. Section 8 is ordinances first readings and related resolutions, are items 8A through 8E. And section 9 is our pending list, items 9A through 9I. On item 9A, I do have a request from the applicant to remove from this item from the pending list and also withdraw this item.
All right, very good. Mr. Christie, if you could please remind us all, are we simply making a motion to remove from the pending list and withdraw, and then are we waiting a week in order to hold that vote?
Any pending item may be withdrawn at any meeting by 4 votes.
So there's
So
not
it's
a
a
time
motion to
requirement to
withdraw.
wait?
No.
Okay, very good.
Rule 3.31.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Do I have a motion from a counselor?
I'll move to remove items 9A through 9I.
Oh,
remove
just
from the
one.
pending list.
Just
Oh, is
9.
it
It's just item
It's just
9A.
9A, I think.
Yeah.
Just 9A, okay, I'm sorry. We'll remove just 9A from the pending list.
All right, very good. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, thank you, Councilman Duden. Seconded by Duden. Let's go ahead and call the roll on that.
Schob,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Beckius.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
All right, I believe that brings us to public comment. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
Yes, it is.
Anyone wishing to address the council on a matter not on this agenda nor planned for a future agenda may do so at this time. Individuals are allowed a total of 5 minutes to speak regardless of the number of topics. For the month of February, this will be our last public comment session. Is there anyone here who would like to speak during public comment? Please come forward. We do have two areas to testify from. So if there are additional testifiers who would like to speak during public comment, please go ahead and come forward and occupy the other station. Hello, welcome.
Hi there. My name is Dave Merritt, 2315 D Street, number 4. And, you know, I'm just here with regard to the genocide in Gaza once again. And just, I don't really have much more to add. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just thanks for your time. And from what I understand, the City Council of Chicago called for a ceasefire in Gaza. And all I have for you is if they can do it, we can do it. So thanks very much and have a great night. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak during public comment period? Yes, please go ahead and come forward. Hello, welcome.
I'm not sure how this works. Do I say my...
If you just start with your name and address, and then after that, you'll have 5 minutes to speak on any topic you would like to talk about.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Andrea Peterson, 1710 South 26th Street, here in Lincoln. And I want to stand in support with him. Sorry, I didn't quite catch your name. This is the first time that I've come to a city council meeting, and it's also in support of a ceasefire in Gaza. I don't know how much information you all are getting on social media, but I'm like bombarded by some pretty horrific images, horrific experiences. I'm a mental health practitioner. I'm a clinical mental health social worker, and I work for the Center for Legal Immigration Assistance. And just from my experience of working with clients, the degree of trauma that people in Palestine are experiencing, it's going to take generations of aid and support. And I believe also that, you know, they deserve a homeland. They deserve to be where they are. They deserve to live in dignity and peace. And I know there's a lot of confusion of like, why isn't this country opening up its borders, or this country opening up its borders? It's because they don't want to leave. They want to be in their homeland. I've reached out to representatives of Nebraska and gotten just like standard issue. Well, on October 7th, Hamas, etc. And I'm just shocked with the amount of money that we're sending and how complicit we are in the degree of suffering that these people are experiencing. I'm just like, if there's any way that I can help and support in changing anything, moving the needle, even a minute to save people's lives, I want to do it. And I feel a little bit lost here in Lincoln, Nebraska, having not much connection to people there. But I do know that people are doing their best to protest, doing their best to boycott funding for this. But the generic kind of blanket response, as well as some pretty explicit, like, kill them all phrases coming out of congressmen and senators, is incredibly shocking as an American, as a human being. So I'm not sure quite what else to say. I don't know if you all have heard of the young man who lit himself on fire. He was an active Air Force member, I believe. His name was Aaron. That happened yesterday, and honestly, it's shocking, but at the same time, I have a lot of respect for that young man, because here in the U.S., it seems like the MO, if you want to protest something or you don't like a certain community or something, that you start a mass shooting or something. And this young man chose a nonviolent route. And however shocking, and my heart goes out to his family and friends and community. But I want you to consider that as precious as his life is, that also every single person in this situation in Palestine is as precious as that young man. The double standard on what human life is worth is really shocking. And I got into the social work and mental health field because I wanted to help people to have peace and dignity in their lives. And I just don't know how, on a macro level, the U.S. can stand by and not only allow this to happen, but be complicit in sending funding. So I just want to say my piece. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah.
Thank you for coming down. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak during public comment? Please. Welcome.
Hello. My name is Majee Miller Jenkins. I'm a resident in East Campus, and then I'd like to play a video for a part of my testimony.
Okay. It'll take just one moment for it to come up.
Yeah. You ready?
Yes.
I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest, but compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, it's not extreme at all. This is what our ruling class has decided will be normal.
In his silence while he walks, his name was Aaron Burnell, and we're going to watch what his final protest was, and I want to know which one of you is actually going to be brave enough to bring up a resolution for a ceasefire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 human beings sitting in front of me right now. Free Palestine, 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 free Palestine. Do you see what this active duty service member was willing to do? Are you watching? Did you hear what his last words were? His last words were free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine. That's what he died for. Why can't you bring up a resolution? Why haven't you brought up a resolution? We are over 130 days. We are over 4 months. Free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine. Why aren't you listening? How many times do I have to miss my son's karate class? How many of my daughter's dance classes do I have to miss? Do I need to be on fire for you to pay attention to what I'm saying? Free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine. We have American soldiers immolating themselves. Are you listening? His last words were free Palestine. Are you listening? My words when I come up here so often are free Palestine. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you paying attention? I've got another minute and 30 seconds. I want to know. Do I need to message you on Facebook and then come up here and blast our messages? Do I need to send you emails and ask you, what do I need to do? I have children. I have a life. I don't want to set myself on fire. Is that what it takes? What does it take? What toll is the last toll? What body is the body you care about dropping? Which one? Because it's not babies. Do you want me to show you videos of the dead babies? I've got so many. It's not toddlers and infants. There was a 45-day-old baby that starved to death intentionally from Israel's actions.
Where are you? Where is your humanity? When I say free Gaza, that means free Palestine. That means free us. Show us that you're worthy. Show us that you're worthy of the vote that we gave you. Show us you're worthy of the time that we spend on you. Show us you're worthy of the fact that we tout your praises in closed rooms. Should we? Should we? Or is it time for pitchforks? We are living in a revolution. They didn't say it was World War I until it was over. They didn't say it was World War II until it was over. We are in World War III. It is actively happening right now. Do your damn part.
You've reached your 5 minutes. Thank you.
Do better and free Palestine.
Is there anyone else here who would like to testify today? Please come forward. If there's anyone else who would like to testify today, please go ahead and come forward and take the other lecture. Hello, welcome.
Hi. My name's Ulysses Martin. I live at 3611 Granger Parkway here in Lincoln. And I'm here on behalf of the Southeast Community College Young Democrats Club. I'm here in support of a ceasefire resolution as well. I think the anger that's felt in this room is felt amongst all my constituents. It's felt amongst a lot of my classmates. I think we're all tired of coming here and begging you for a ceasefire resolution. I think it's time you use your voice and use it for good. That's all.
Thank you. Hello, welcome.
Hi, my name is Genevieve Dashiel. My address is 1623 D Street, and I am also here in the name of a ceasefire. I remember when I was younger and I was in school and in history classes and wondering how the U.S. didn't get involved in past genocides in our history, how people stood back all over the world and watched atrocities occur. And now I'm seeing it in real time in my lifetime. And it's horrifying. And the reason I'm here today is because I want to be able to look my grandchildren in the eyes and tell them that I did something and that I didn't just let something happen that they learned later on in history class was a huge mistake our country made. I can't stand by knowing that my tax dollars are going towards killing children, going towards starving innocent people. I don't care what anyone does. Nobody deserves their children to be starved, to be treated so inhumanely. It's evil no matter who you are. And I hope that you can also think about what you will tell the children of tomorrow on what you did. What will your legacy be? And how will you go down in the history books? Because the truth will come out, and I just hope that you change your mind before it's too late, because it's already pretty much too late. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, welcome. And if you would like to come forward to this lectern, you're welcome to do so.
My name is Jonna Cisneros. I'm a resident of Lincoln, 2610 South 60th Street. I am here too as in support of a ceasefire. And many things have been said, many passions, much rage and anger has been rightfully directed at this conflict. And something that I can't help but think about is passivity and how it is the enemy of change. We have plenty of historical documents of other humans doing atrocious things to other humans. And war seems to many as like a given of life, a given of civilization and society. And when that point gets brought up, I think that there is a responsibility of us to recognize that we have an opportunity to be better. We've stood by historically when atrocities have occurred on our own land and land of others. We have stood by passively in a multitude of situations historically. And while that might be the status quo, if we know that we can be better, shouldn't we try to be better? Should we not strive to be better? And, if war is thought of as some aspect of humanity, some unfortunate side effect of our existence, I can't help but think about the fact that we have evolved over the years and the centuries to do incredible things. Humans are capable of such great destruction and such great beauty and love and kindness. And in the face of a conflict that has so much historical complexity, it is quite simple when you look at it through the lens of wanting to be better. People are hurting, people are suffering, and it's quite easy in Nebraska, somewhere in the middle of the United States, landlocked, to feel like we can't do anything. I'm sure even you guys feel that way sometimes. It's really easy to feel powerless in the face of large things. But we have an opportunity here to go against the status quo, to be better, to call for a ceasefire and set an example of what people can do when they come together and they recognize that enough is enough. And so I hope you will consider this. I hope you will think about your family, your children, your friends, the stranger on the street who smiled at you, and the person who gave you coffee. Think about them. Their life is beautiful and meaningful, and so too are the lives in Gaza and Palestine. Palestinian lives matter, and if there's just one thing that we can do to stop the hurt, how can we live with ourselves when we sit passively and choose to let the hurt go on? Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming down. We appreciate it. Hello, welcome.
Hello, my name is Daviana Moran. My address is 2840 Jameson North here in Lincoln. I am a PhD student at our university in counseling psychology, and I'm here for supporting Palestine and ceasefiring. I think about Indigenous Ethics Code saying that we are each other, we are everyone, each of you are a part of me. I know the situation, people like to scoff it up to it's far away, it's not here, but it affects us too, whether you feel it or not, whether you're ignorant or remain to stay up to date to what's happening. It's happening to all of us. And I hope that at some point you guys start asking yourself the bigger questions of why, how, where. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming down. Hello, welcome.
Hello. My name is Holly Smith, and I won't give my address. So I just wanted to come up here. I wanted to talk about Next Benedict. I don't know if you guys have heard about Next Benedict. They were a student who was bullied to the point where they couldn't even walk to the nurse's office. And then they refused to get an ambulance for the student at the school. And then the student later died the next day. Due to injuries or what have you. We're still waiting for all of that. I know the family also decided to put up a family investigation of their own, but they are not the first case. They are the second case this year. And when I think about Palestine, I think about how if we let this happen, if we let this continue to watch this happen, who's to say that we're not next? And that's my piece, I guess, part of my piece. My other part is I'm in TikTok lives with people from South Lebanon, from Palestine, and they worry about me more than I worry. Well, I worry about them so much, but they worry about me more than they worry about themselves. They message me every day to ask if I'm eating, if I'm drinking water, when there's bombs outside their homes. That's the kind of people these people are. They are so kind, and they don't deserve this. And that's my piece. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak during public comment? All right. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
I would move that we adjourn this evening.
Second?
Second, Carlson. Please call the roll.
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Motion carried.
We are adjourned.